Ethiopian soldiers are accused of killing about 24 civilians this week in the Amhara region. According to witnesses, the troops were carrying out house-to-house searches after being attacked by militiamen. The soldiers and the Fano militia have been involved in fierce violence for more than a month. The two were allies in the war in Tigray that ended in November, but fighting erupted afresh last month after Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed announced plans to dismantle regional paramilitary forces and absorb them into the national army. The militia refused to surrender its weapons. Witnesses say the victims included innocent children and the elderly. The government and the army is yet to respond to the claims. The United Nations says 183 people have been killed in the Amhara conflict since it began. It has called on all parties to stop the killings and other human rights abuses. Let's get more information on this, and let's bring in our reporter Gurum Chala joining us live from Addis Ababa. Gurum, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us here on Africa Live. Gurum, what's the government's response to these claims that government forces house-to-house search of militias in Amhara has left at least 24 civilians dead?
So, Richard, according to the information we're getting from the Ethiopian National Defense Force and people who are leading the mission in the Amhara regional state, so far what the government trying to do is, neutralize members of the Amhara militia group called Fano, who took up arms against the Ethiopian government and also the National Defense Force itself over the last 1 month. You remember that there has been strong conflict in many parts of the Amhara regional state, and now that things are coming down, they are trying to also root out some remnants, according to them, of the militiamen who are hiding in different parts of the Amhara regional state, especially in houses of farmers in different parts of the region itself. But particularly on the happening that you've been talking about in particular place called Majete, and the killing of innocent civilians through the process of the military mission, there is nothing official that we have heard from the government. We are actually expecting to hear something about it in the next few hours, or perhaps by tomorrow, because this is the job of the command post. As you know, the Amhara regional state remains to be under the command post. The state of emergency is being implemented so far. So the killing has been reported in several media houses. No official report, but what we know so far is that rooting out, according to them, of this militiamen in different parts of the Amhara regional state has continued and is also continuing.
All right, Gurum, one final question before we let you go. Gurum, how would you describe the security situation in Amhara currently?
So I'm going to mention two reports here, Visit. One from the newly appointed Amhara regional state government itself, and also from the command post I was mentioning earlier under the state of emergency in the Amhara regional state. Both have said that in most parts of the Amhara regional state, peace has returned, normal activities of people has also returned. Ethiopian New Year is just around the corner, about 2-3 days away from coming, September 11 to be more specific, and the marketplaces and shops and others are open. People are also leading normal lives in major cities, Gondar, Bahadar, and others. But also you should understand that conflict has subsided doesn't mean it has ended. In different parts of the Amhara regional state, there are still reports of ambush and attacks by the Amhara militiamen called Fano, and also some retaliatory measures are being taken by the National Defense Force. So we can all say 100% peace has returned to the region because of the conflict I was talking about, the not finished job there. But still, we can report to you that most of the Amhara regional state has returned to peace and normalcy.